Hey friends, welcome back to the table where we do tarot. It is me, Dale. Welcome. There's my dragon over there. I actually got him for my daughter, but because it looked like this album cover of a CD that she likes, but it was like for me that's what I saw in it. So I associated it with her care for this band and their album, but really she just saw it as a dragon and she was like, I don't really, I'm like not really into dragons. It's just sort of the album cover. But so anyway. So now I got them here. All right. So I've been talking about how I don't really understand dragons and the significance of them. But yeah, I do have a tattoo of one on the middle of my back that I actually designed. And yeah, I don't know. They seem important. So I want to introduce you to him. He's right there. And I was thinking of oh, maybe we should give it a name. And then I just kept seeing ORTH, something like that. And I was like, maybe Othello? Okay, so I don't know, Othello. And I feel like that came up in a book that I had finished up reading yesterday. So what's significant about Othello? Okay, somebody tell me. Does anybody know? This is going to be a 5 minute tell it like it is reading, okay? So that doesn't mean the video is 5 minutes long. It just means that the time that I spend on the message is 5 minutes long. So we are shuffling up this gorgeous deck called Ethereal Visions Tarot Luna Edition, okay? Artwork by Matt Hughes, not the UFC fighter. Um, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. We're just going to let the cards speak. Oh, and right now they're speaking like they don't want to get together. All right, let's see what we got. Okay. You don't need to see the table, but somehow I am going to figure out the proper setup, the proper height of my table, and the proper height of a chair so that we can see the background and the moon because I feel like we're always missing out on the importance of the moon, right? I love that. That was really why I got this background a million years ago before I conceived of a YouTube channel, I think. I don't know. I just know that I didn't start the channel until last year at this time. But actually, not this channel. This channel I started a little bit later. So the first channel I started, I think I did my first video September 20th. I was looking back to figure it out, to figure out what have I grown? What am I doing? How many followers do I have? Do the followers matter as far as do the numbers matter? Not really. That is the most important thing. Is that no, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that I show up and I do something to prove to myself that I can show up and do something every day. Okay, because I can show up and do lots of different things, but a lot of them are not cohesive. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. All right. So at the bottom, we've got the Hanged Man. All right. So we're going to start at 3 minutes just so I can have a 5 minute timing mark. Okay. So uncomfortable position. Oh, because you're thinking about a lot of stuff and it's keeping you up, or you hurt somebody's feelings. The King of Wands. It's maybe you hurt somebody's feelings by moving on to create something because you haven't received and you have to move forward into that because it's time for you to receive. You've been like the king of wands for everybody else, always helping each other, always defending this position, right? This seven of wands is standing at the top. And well, this is what it is that now you are defending your position because that's what you were afraid of getting up there because you knew what you were capable of. And then you didn't want to have to fight with people just because you walked away from them because you just didn't have the energy and abundance anymore to fill to help them through their problems with nobody helping you. And that's only the thing is that you don't notice this because you got to keep your head down and work on your craft. The only time that you're going to notice this is if you're not fully invested in what your craft is. And that takes time, right? It's taken time. It's taken a long time for temperance to work in your favor, to alchemize all that lead that you had, turn it into gold or diamonds or, whatever it's going to be. The Page of Cups, it looks like an archer, okay? In the position that they're in, that's not at all what they're doing. The Page of Cups is it's like they're listening to their imagination, and that's really what's aiming their arrow. But that's what it looks like. It looks like they're ready to take aim to shoot at a target. And what it is, it's listening to their imagination. The Emperor just seems like the big daddy energy that is creating a safe space for the child, the page, in order to listen to the intuition and create. He's just sitting there all right, go to it. I gave you this space, the King of Cups. It's like you have to have emotional maturity about this, all right? You have to have your imagination from your childhood, but you have to have emotional maturity about it and only use your intuition about it, okay? Because it shouldn't be seen by others. It should really only be seen by you. Do we not kind of look like we're in the same environment right now? The moon card. It's You ha I am most comfortable in the moon. I am most comfortable in the night sky, like under the night sky. Does that mean that I'm going to live a nocturnal life? No, but I can bring the nocturnal life into my sunny day world by listening to my intuition. Okay. What I think in my mind is all happening under the light of the night sky because you can't see it. You can only see what I take out and present. And that is like the stability of it's like it is my abundance in this world because it's the one that I've been using I've been creating the slowest, okay? And that's what the Knight of Pentacles is. It's like it's armored, it's ready for battle, and yet it knows it's exactly in the right place because it's been moving slowly and methodically so as not to be like confused. Like there's a waiting period for the abundance to come in, and that is because the things have to be aligned. It's almost like the Knight of Pentacles is like prepared for battle by scoping out the battlegrounds years before they happen and establishing residency there so that nobody comes in to actually have to go to battle, right? And that's what you've been waiting for. And that's exactly what happens. It's like, okay, now they can't battle with you anymore because it's no longer in your environment, all right? And that it's almost like you're not the one in the mental prison anymore. It's that nobody can see what you're doing, and that annoys people. That annoys people who you used to give that energy of anymore. They're like, I want to reach out to them. I don't, but no, they left me. So, it's just this whole thing. And we go through this on our own process from time to time. And it's like the whole reason why you had to stop making decisions of what was best and just give it over to the high priestess is because you are like battle worn from all the wands. That's what that King of Wands energy. It's like you weren't supposed to be carrying everybody else's wands. You were supposed to be the one that they came to in order for them to start out a creative project. Okay. But it's like when you're sort of a control freak because you know that other people can't get it done the way that you would. But it's like, well, now you have to start over. Would this page of wands be capable? Like, would anybody even try to come and get this child's wand? That would be like taking candy from a baby, right? It's like that. So you have to pretend like you're a child and you don't know what you're doing, okay? Because you do know the truth. It's like this is the same one that you're holding as a king because you started out here. So you know how to get back into that energy and make it seem like I don't really know what I'm doing. So you don't really want, I don't have an abundance of creativity for you to grab from. And it's like, so they're carrying their own burdens now, this 10 of wands. They're carrying their own burdens because you're not doing it for them. You're like, you know what? Look, your pentacle's way up here. So like I'm still sort of like holding it, not for you, but because like your energy is still in my freaking space, but all my focus is here. Okay. And so it's almost like you're trying to distract the person by like, look at, yeah, I'm still helping you and protecting you when really you're like all your focus is right here. So this one doesn't really matter anymore. It's just still in your atmosphere. 808. So I'm going to stop it right there, but I will grab an oracle message. Hold up. Okay, we're going with the Forest of Enchantment Oracle. We're just trying to get one message out of here. And usually when I like every time I open the deck, it splits. It always leaves the bottom card in the bottom and then so splits at the second last card. So I'm just going to leave it at that one. Let's just see what's at the Feather of Finding. Okay. When I see feathers, I feel like it's angelic oversight, but right under the feather of finding is trolls. So let's see why those are there together. Rather than me shuffling and looking through it all, we're just going to go for what we got. All right. Okay, I kept looking and looking for this feather of finding cards, and I couldn't see it in the list of everything else, and that's because it's listed in the second section here that's called the boon cards. Now, I don't know what that means. So let me see if I can find out what the boon cards means because I am going to read the Feather of Finding because I feel like the trolls being underneath it is significant, okay, in this message. So I want to get a message on both those things. Okay, so I'm going to read this on what the boon cards are. What is a boon, you ask? A boon can be defined as a favor, a gift, or an exchange, or an advantage. A favor, I wonder why I read that as exchange. Favor, a gift, or an advantage. Dictionary also calls it a blessing and a timely benefit. Entails a magical being might offer a boon to a traveler in the form of boots that traverse 7 leagues with a single step. An 11 lady, oh, an elven lady might bestow a boon of soil that will transform any garden into a paradise. You get the idea. In this card, in this deck, each boon card is a magical tool. When you get one in a reading, it adds its particular enchantment to the situation for as long as you need it. And you can also take the 4 boon cards out of the deck itself and use them as on their own as meditation images, or as a focus for magic work. When you get the fairy godmother card in the reading, you may choose a boon to help your wish come true. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the trolls card first because I feel like this feather of finding is significant as like the gift when you find yourself in with the trolls. And I don't know anything about them, so let's figure out what they're up to. Okay. So page 77, and the card number of the trolls is 30, if that's got significance to you. Um, Troublemakers, bullies, annoyances, arguments, circular conversations to no purpose, wasted energy. Okay, okay, I know this one. All right, you have come upon a trio of trolls blocking the path, and your best option is to just choose a different route. The problem, okay, all I can see in my head is the feather, and like you can fly above it, right? That would be like if that's what was special about it. Feathers come from birds, and if a feather is a boon. So, okay, all right, let's just keep going. See if I'm right. The best option is to choose a different route. They probably wouldn't harm you, for they are supremely lazy, but it would be a big waste of effort trying to make them budge. They are passively threatening, like most bullies. Thickly shadowed parts of the forest, like this, are where you are most likely to find trolls, as they cannot abide sunlight. They scurry through sunny patches to get to favored shady spots, such as beneath bridges, where they harass pedestrians and demand unauthorized tolls. This is about as active as they get. Trolls hang together in small groups that enhance their delusions of toughness. They are snarky and snide and fairly dim. Their default condition is suspicious. They thrive on trouble and getting people's goats, both literal and metaphorical. Who engage with trolls can eventually become indistinguishable from them. I can't stop like laughing in my head because my dad used to live in a town where the Erie Canal crosses over, and he used to like stand on the bridge and charge people a toll because he was like a bully, and like he was just a wounded child, like all bullies are, right? And so he used to do this kind of stuff. So it's like really from in my past, I guess, before I was born though. The oracle's advice: some people just like to stir up trouble. They hunker down in anonymity and darkness and poke passersby, whether in person or in the ether. They are not worth your time. A war of wits with this witless is unbecoming. Just ignore them, and they will go bother someone else. And that's the thing, is like they want to stay in the shadows because when they were in the light, they were bullied. Okay, so that's what is going on with that troll energy. Lore keepers note there are several collective nouns for trolls. The more benign is a tangle of trolls. Northern trolls are funnier and less hideous, and these are known as a mischief of trolls. Forest trolls like these are referred to as a stench of trolls for reasons that should be obvious. All right. Now let's go back to the boon card of the feather. Feather of finding. Kind of looks like a peacock feather, right? But not as long as one. But those colors might be significant. It's something about like the third eye, throat, third eye, and heart. Okay. The center of it. Okay, so points you in the direction of what you need or desire. Feather of finding. The feather is lighter than air and will easily levitate when released. Tell it what you seek, being as clear as possible. Then open your hand and let the feather float away. Follow where it leads, which may be to the actual object you seek or a step in the process of finding it. Of the 4 forests of enchantment boons, the feather is by far the most finicky. It may take your request literally or metaphorically, which is why clarity is important. The results can be dramatic and impressive, but you will likely still have to do some additional sleuthing. Uses: directions, finding misplaced possessions, recovering stolen objects, locating a lost pet or lover, keeping tabs on your child, highlighting important things to read. Lorekeeper's note: there is much speculation in the wizarding world as to what sort of bird the feathers of finding come from. One theory says that such a bird cannot wait, that such a bird could lead you to your heart's desire. Unfortunately, you cannot use feather of finding to find this bird. Okay. So, but the feather, it's like if we wanted it to go over the trolls, what I would recommend is like don't put your focus on the trolls, because that's kind of what the warning is about, because the feather is finicky. And that's what we do when we think about like when we put our effort into like how do I get away from this bully, or like it's like you're still focusing on the bully, okay? What you're supposed to be focusing on is the feather, not the bully, right? So focus, like what is the feather traveling through? It's focusing, I mean, it's traveling through air, and air is representative of the mind. It's the thoughts. Okay. So you have to have if you have like a storm going on, or all these different like westerly winds and northerly winds going on in your mind of thoughts, then that is exactly where your frequency is all shifted up, and you can't get a clarity of like direction. Okay. It's just very simple in this real world to relate all this weird, fantastical stuff into what we actually do in real life. All right. So, that's what I have for you. Bye bye. I love you. Have a good day today.